So the Rebbe explained that through a Yid's Avodah, he's Megala in the world also that the world is lacking Sovev Kol Almin. The Yid's Avodah, through his Avodah, B'chol Nafshecho, said, B'chol Levavcha, and then you have, that's the Gilu Memala Kol Almin. And then you have B'chol Nafshecha, that's Sovev Kol Almin. So really, the whole nafshecha, the save of kolalmim, is really connected to the neshama of a yid, which misses the level of seva because it comes from the higher level before it comes down into this world. So it will be asher yechas arloi, that he is missing because it's something of it that he experienced. But through the avodah of a yid in the world, he makes it also that the world should be Yechasar Loi. Now the Rebbe goes on to explain that also the level of Ashirus, which is the level of Atzmus, which is higher than Soivev, through the fact that a Yid serves the Eibishter with this higher level of B'chol Me'oidecho, which corresponds to the level of Atzmus, which is even higher than Soiviv. He brings down the level of Ashirus also in the world, in the Olam. How everything through the Avodah of the Yid impacts later on to the world. Ches, we're looking at Valderech Zehu Be'inyan Ha'ashirus. And similar to this, similar to what we learned about Sovev Kol Almim being impacted in the Olam, that the Olam should be Choser, the level of Sovev. Similarly, it's also is with regards to Ashirus. Gilui Atzmus Oirisov Shalamaylam Sovev, the revelation of the essence of the Erisov, which is hard to say. Shal Yidei Gilui Inyan Zeh B'Nishamas Yisrael, through this Inyan from Atzmus, the revelation of this aspect in the soul of Yidden, so in the future to come, there will be a similar revelation in the world. So now that we are explaining that this comes even to the world through the Yidden, but it impacts the world itself. So we can explain this, that it's written in the Maimer, Biur Maimer Hamedresh Shetfilas Moshe Hoiso Loi Bishvil Atzmei El Bishvil Yisrael. The Medrash says that Moshe Rabbeinu, he was an Oshir, he didn't need anything. But what was Moshe Rabbeinu davening? He wasn't davening for himself. Moshe was davening for the Yidden. So what does this explain in the Maimer? That Shekneses Yisrael hi bechinas Malchus. That what is the gathering when we say Yisrael, which is the Knesses Yisrael, which is the Yidden, that's the level of Malchus. Ubakoshas Moshe, so what was Moshe asking? Explains the Maimer. Tfilas Oshir, Hidacha, prayer of a wealthy, doesn't need anything for himself. He was davening b'shvul Knesses Yisrael, for Knesses Yisrael. Hoyso sheyumshar b'malchus gilui atzmus sof ashirus. So what Moshe was davening, that in Malchus, which is the root of Knesses Yisrael, which is Knesses Yisrael, there should be the revelation of atzmus sof ashirus, the level of ashirus, so that Malchus should get ashirus. This is a little bit difficult to understand. The Pashtas, the Medrash says that we're asking for Moshe Rabbeinu, that Moshe Rabbeinu is asking for the Yidden. He's not davening for himself. He was a Tfilas Oshir, but he's davening for the Yidden. But we're talking about the Yidden. Here, the Maimer turns it around and says he's not davening for the Yidden. He's davening for Knesset Yisrael. He's davening for Malchus, that in Malchus should be the Gilui of the Eins, the Atzmos. The Rebbe explains that when you daven for Yidden, and the Yidden have the revelation of the Ein Sof, then eventually that filters down to the world, that the world gets the Gilu of the Atzmus Ein Sof. So therefore, it's not a conflict, as the Rebbe explains now, because essentially davening for the Yidden is davening also for Malchus. Why does the Rebbe explain the Maimer in a way that Moshe Rabbeinu was davening for Malchus, that Malchus should be built? So what the Rebbe was explaining in the Maimer over there, Ba'apizeh Mevayer Shom, in the Maimer he explains, Mashakosu b'medrash de bakoshos Moshe avur Yisrael. Over there it says that what Moshe was asking, not for himself, but he's asking for the Yidden. The Alderech, says the Medrash, gives the metaphor, Habakoshe Medina Ploinis Ulu, there is a certain country. So the person came to the king. He didn't have anything to ask for himself. So he says to the king, listen, you have a country over there. That it's been destroyed. You decree that it should be built. So he's asking the king that the king should build his own country which has been destroyed, not anything for himself. So the Maimer explained this. What does this mean metaphorically? Legabe the Eibishter, that Moshe Rabbeinu is praying. The Medina who Malchus. Medina is the level of Malchus. Babakoshe Gizoir Shetibone. What was the request of Moshe, decree that it should be built? He sheyumshach gilui atzmus eirin sob b'malchus, that there should be the revelation of atzmus in malchus. Shal yidei zeh tibone b'bchinas binyan adiyat. Then it will be built in a level of an eternal edifice, because malchus will get from the level of atzmus. It will be built eternally, won't be any more destroyed, it will be continuous. That's the reason why the Rebbe and the Maimer over there explains that Moshe Rabbeinu asks for Malchus, because that fits with the mashal, where the person is asking for the king, for the country that was destroyed, that it should, that the king should build it. Here, Moshe Rabbeinu is asking the Eibishter that Atzmus should be nimshach and built the level of Malchus, that it should stay built. But we need to have the explain this, because in Pashtus was for Yidden. Here we're saying that he's asking for Malchus, but this needs to be explained. The Bakoshas Moshe Bishvil Yisrael, when Moshe Rabbeinu was asking for the Yidden, Oisa Bishvil Yisrael Kipshutam. It was literally for Yidden Kimavur b'Medrash. The Medrash explains that the Yidden should be helped. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't ask for himself because he was an Oshir. He was asking for the Yidden. And here, and here in the Maimer he explains Shabakoshes Moshe Bishvil Knesset Yisrael Bishvil HaMalchus, that Moshe was asking for Knesset Yisrael was for Malchus, not for the Yidden, but for Malchus. But now that we've explained before that through the Yidden, they bring down, when the Yidden have the revelation of Atzmus, the level of Ashirus, they bring it down also into the Olam. So now we can explain this. Yes, Leimar. Through bringing down the revelation of Atzmus Ein Yisrael by the Yidden, Al Yidei Ze Yigilu Ze B'Malchus Hashedesh Doilum. That way, that revelation comes down in Malchus, which is the root of the world. So Take, there's no two, it's not two separate things. Through Yidden, it comes in the world. The world, it comes to the Sheresh of the world, it comes to Malchus. And then it comes to the world. It's the Malchus of the world. And the Rebbe adds, how does that revelation take place? Just like we said before, that the revelation of this Sev of Kol Almim in the world takes place through the Yidden. By the Yidden revealing the Pnimius of the world, the Pnimius of Memali, is really connected to Sevev. Same thing happens by the revelation of Atzmus Ein Sof, the level of Ashirus. That it extends to the world through the Yid. Shezehu. How does that take place? Up. Here, second.
Yes, I'm here.
Lost the place over here. All right.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Uh, um,
Yeah, Zain, Vayesh. Next chapter.
I just missed one. The market is in about good one. No, we did all the. No, this is not the right. We're not doing the right mimer here. 1 second. This is not the mimer we're doing. Ah, sorry about that. You see here. Okay. Shai David, sorry. Yeah. So he explained. So the commotion is by the being Yila Sevishim Shechbeil Made Israel. That is through revealing the inner of the world. Similarly, is also the revelation of the Gilu in Sof, which is higher than Sefer. Shenimshach al Yidei Yisrael ba'olam, that comes down through the Yidden in the world. Shezehu. How does this come? Is by revealing the inner and the root of Malchus, to reveal that the Malchus is really rooted in Atzmus, and that's how they bring it down. This is your country. The Sherish HaMalchus Ba'atzmus, that the root of Malchus is Atzmus. Basically, by revealing how do you bring down, before we said how do we bring down Sevev in the world, by revealing that Sevev is, that the world is rooted in Sevev. Here we're revealing Atzmus in the world and Malchus by revealing that Malchus is connected to Atzmus, because Medina Plain Shalom, the Sheresh HaMalchus of Atzmus. So now we're bringing down that this whole idea here is to also demonstrate that we bring down Atzmus not just to the Yid, but through the Yid would bring it down on the world. And that's why the Rebbe explains now in the Maimer, he wants to connect everything to the world that he brings down over there, that Seva, Memale, and Atzmus, how it's connected to the world. The Yeshloimar, so we can say, the Mahataimim al Zeh maybe Mahamaimer. One of the reasons, some of the reasons that he brings in the Maimer, Huvel Il Sivdalet, wrote down before the Mashe, Kosuv Yechayenu Meyamayim, Bayom HaShlishi. Says the Yechayenu, the 2 and the 3 day, Bayom HaShlishi, Nikimenu, V'nichilofonov. He talked about Olam Hazeh, Gan Eden, and Lost Love, or Yemesa Mashiach and Lost Love. So Mavair the Yemaim Hem Beis Hagiluyim the Memale v'Sevev. So Yemaim is Memale and Sevev. Those are the Yem HaShlishi Gila Atzmus Ein Sof. And Yem HaShlishi is the revelation of Atzmus. The Gimel Giluyim Elu Misgalim Begimel Zmanim. They are in 3 times. Why is he bring that down? To tell you that these Giluyim come down in Zman. They come down in the world. Hularam is the hint agam shezman hu megidrei ha'olam. That even though Zman is part of the definition, the boundaries of the world, it has to do with the world. What is the inner vitality of the world is Memale. So we're saying in Memale you also have the 3 times, because you're saying that the different times of Yemesa Mashiach, these are all Bisman, Hulan Rames, Mikomokim Shayich Ha'ilum Gam L'Sevev, and still the world is connected also to Sevev, and Begam Le'in Sof Shel Mailam Sevev, and also to Ein Sof, which is higher than Sevev, to point to you to this point that it's all also comes down into Olam. Ulahoyir, the Rebbe wants to point out, not only in the Chayenu, in the Pasuk over there, that it comes down into Zman, into time, the different times. Same thing is that these Giluyim also in Mokim, all Giluyim, Shegedra Olam Hu Mokim Uzman, because the definition of the world is both time and space. So space, we need to find it also. The Inyan HaMokim Sheba Olam Hu, what is meaning space in the world? Sheyesh B'Chalika Dargas, that there is different levels. There is space. There is Maila Umata. There is Maila Umata. There is top and bottom. That means there is different space. And yet, Dagam Sheis Chalkus Maila Umata Sheba Olam. How does this distinction between top and bottom in the world, that's connected to the chayis that vitalize the memale? So, but we want to say, no, it's not just memale. It is the chayis of the world is mitzad memale. Kimayim Razal, as our sages tell us, that not the yimine ubara shamayim, not the smoila ubara oretz, that the right hand corrects heavens, the left hand corrects oretz. So, what does it mean? The top, the shamayim, those are the top. That is the right. The shamayim, olam esol yonim, and mechinas yimin, they come from the right side, level of right. The eretz, which is olam tachtonim and mechinas smoil, that comes from the left side. The hachiluk, the yeminu smoil, and so where do you have these differences of right, left? Ubachai is the bechinas memale. That's in the vitality, which is memale, kumeshakosu behemshach hailula, which is written in the hemshach hailula basi lagami. Umuvagam bepashus also understand simply. So we know. So this is all has to do mokim. Essentially has to do with the chayis that is memale, that fills the world. But yet we have the other levels there as well. Mikol mokoim, klolus kol ha'olamis, generally the worlds in the chlokim l'shloisha ha'olamis are divided into three worlds, which is Beriya, Yitzira, V'Asiya. The level of Beriya, Yitzira, Asiya. I mean, Atzilus is already considered higher than the world, but the worlds is considered Beriya, Yitzira, Asiya, Shem Dugmas, Gimel, Gilui Manal. That's similar to the three revelation of Memala, Seviv, and Atzmo. So, Kimavur, Bekama, Mekoimes. Like explained in our, so the Rebbe wants to say, even in the world, we have these three levels, even though the world is essentially Mamalikul Almim, but within the world itself, we have generally the three worlds of Bri Yitzira Asiyah. And they are similar to these three revelations from Mamali's Seviv and Atzmus. Ukamavur, Bekami Mekaimis has explained itself in many places. Shachoimer Bria that when you have the material creation, which is just the existence itself, which is yet higher, it's not been shaped yet, it's not revealed, it's above shape and revelation. That is similar to the essence obscurity, the Helam Ha'atzmi, of Atzmus, that represents Atzmus. Bria corresponds to Atzmus. Vitsura, then you have Yitzira, shape. You take that material and you shape it, that becomes a Tsura, that becomes Yitzira. That's Gilu Yachomer. That's the revelation of the material. Hu Dugmas HaSoivev. That is similar to the Soivev, Shugilu Atzmus Ein Sof, which is the revelation of the essence of the Ein Sof. That is the level of Soiv, that is the level of Yitzira. The Tikkun, Asiya, and the level of Tikkun, which is the level of Asiya, Tziyur Proti, that is a very specific shape. That is similar, that is what fills and dresses up in every world, in every creation, compared to what it is, to their value. That's the level of Memaluk Lamim. So basically, Asiya is Memaluk Lamim, the Tzir Prati. Yitzira is the Tzir Kloli, is the Gilu Sevu Lamim. And Bria is the material itself. That's the Helam Ha'atzmi. That's the Atzmas. So which means even in the world we have these three levels. Also, what the Maimer writes when it explains the meaning of the words of the Beir Nefoshes, he says, the Chesroinon, it says Beir Nefoshes Rabbis, the Chesroinon, what they're lacking. So over there, Al Kol Masha Baroso. Chesroinon, what they're lacking is two. Chesroin Losharam Mehem Bezo Inyonim. What they're lacking is the two aspects. The Milu HaChesorin Shemetzad Memalu Klam V'Soivu Klam. Chesroinon is the two aspects. They're filling the lackings that comes because of Memalu Klam and what they're missing, and also that they're missing Soivu Klam. And then we say, Al Kol Masha Baroso. What is this addition? What they're missing, and also everything that you created to vitalize them. The Pirush Betur, the Tur explains, what does that mean? Shem Dvorim Haboyim Li'inu L'Tainuk. That is, represents items that coming to delight and to have pleasure. That's the level, express level of Atzmus. That's the flow that comes, a lot of wealth that comes because of the revelation of Atzmus Eir Sof. That's the Chesroino. So why does he bring this down? So he brings it down. The Rebbe says the Eshloimar So we can say Shemahataimim Shemevi Pirush Zeh B'Hamaimer. Why is one of the reasons, some of the reasons why he brings down in the Maimer, Ulerab is to hint to us Shagam Be'olam Ha'asiyah, that also in this world of Asiyah, Koilo Gam Be'olam Hazah Gashmi, Yeshnam Gimel Inyoni, we have all three things, we have all this as well. So if we have all these things in this world, we're hinting here. You have Bri Tzirasiya, they're part of this world. That's the level in Mokoi. We have the level in Zman. He said before that we have the three times, which is in the world. This is the Gedra Mokim and Zman. And that's what we say also, Kasrein and Lahakis, the to have all the Gilui. So what does it mean then that we're only stuck with Mamali, that it's only Mamali, now we're saying that in Mokum we have all three levels. We have also Seibim and also Atzmas. Hello. Shachayis alakus hamalubesh ba'olam Mamali hu begilu ba'olam. The difference is only that the godly light, which is dressed in the world, Memali, that is the level that is open, revealed in the world. So, why then we are saying that even the Chayis of Memali comes through the Avodah V'Yid, but that's Memali itself. Why does it even need the Yid's Avodah? Why do we need the Bechol Levavcha if the Mali is there anyways? The commission is Bayer B'Divra Maschil Zois Chokas HaTorah, as explained in my Maimers Zois Chokas HaTorah, Shegilu Gimel Hanyonim the Mali Seva V'Atzmus Eidin Sof, that the revelation of these three matters of Mali Seva Atzmus Sof, while the Gimel Ha'avis is through the three loves, the B'chol Levavcha, B'chol Nafshecha, or B'chol Moedecha. B'chol Levavcha is the Gilui Mamali, B'chol Nafshecha the Gilui of Seva, B'chol Moedecha the Gilui of Atzmus. But why do we need a Gilui of B'chol Levavcha if the world in essence is the Mamali Kalam? Who? Even though we're saying that is what's the Begilu, Kizeh Shachai is the Mamali who Begilu B'ha'olam. What does it mean that the Chayis of Memali is revealed in the world? What its Begili means that he feels that he's alive. That's what the Begili is. You feel that you're alive, but you don't feel that it's godliness. And through the Yid Avodah, Nirgash B'Ha'olam Shachayis Sheboy Olakus. That's the way you feel in the world that the Chayis is in Olakus. So even in Memali, that you feel that the Memali is felt, but you feel Chayis, but you don't feel godliness. The godliness of the Chayis that comes through the Avodah, through B'chol Levavcha. The Gilu Zeh, Ugam Achshav B'Olam Hazeh. That level of Memali is also now in this world. The Achai is the Seviv. She'ene melubesh b'ha'olam, v'rak Seviv u'makif olam. The Chayis of Seviv, which is not dressed up in the world, and it only circles and surrounds it. U'mekoshkem, most for sure, Ein Sof Shalamaylam is Seviv. That is higher than Seviv. Hashachosam ba'olam hi alidei Avodah Yisrael. They are brought down through the Avodah Yid. That's simple, because that's not shaykhs to the Olam in the first place. We bring them down through the Avodah of the Yid and through B'chol Nafshecha B'chol Moedecha. V'hagilui d'amshoches elu yiyu losin love. When will it come out, revealed in the future to come? B'mois HaMashiach will be Gilui HaSeviv. In the days of Mashiach will have the Seviv. Utchiyas HaMeisim Gilui Atzmus Ein Sof Shel Ma'alim HaSeviv. But Utchiyas HaMeisim will be the revelation of Atzmus Ein Sof, which is even higher than Seviv. Kinal Siv Dalet. So all of these inyonim come through the Avodah of a Yid, And even Memale needs the Avodah Vayid to reveal the Lakus in it. And the other inyonim that will come down into the world in the future by Soiver, by Yemesa Mashiach, and Atzmos by the time of Tchias HaMesa. Okay, we'll leave it over here. Pretty gishmak inyonim over here. Yeah,
Okay, Yashikar, thank you very much. Good Shabbos.
Shabbos. Thank you.